CC1 icebreaker speech, Restaurant Life, Nolan, Buttner.
How many of you have ever worked in a restaurant? A few of you, not as many as I thought. Well, I work in the restaurant industry for 6 years, and I've held every job you can think of, from sandwich artist to pizza maker, from server to bartender. And all of these jobs have taught me something different that I've been able to take with me and carry on throughout my life. My time working in restaurants has had a profound impact on my life that I never truly understood until I escaped the restaurant industry. It made me who I am today just as much as the college I attended, the places I've lived, and the experiences I've had. Without knowing it, it laid the foundation for my professional career and has had a huge impact on my personal development. I was 17 years old when I got my first job in the restaurant industry. It was a rainy February day, and my dad and I went to go check out a new deli that opened up downtown. Upon walking up, I noticed a help wanted sign in the window, which immediately grabbed my attention as I was in desperate need of a job to pay for gas for my car. So I took an application with me and brought it home. When I returned it a few days later, I was offered the job on the spot since I went to the high school across town and the owner of the deli was looking to break the grip that the crosstown deli Lucchese's had on the east side. I jumped at the opportunity, but little did I know that this job would forever change the course of my life. My time working in the deli as sandwich artist was the beginning of my professional career. This part-time minimum wage job taught me basic customer service and gave me my first sense of low-level management. This was the first time that I ever really started thinking about how businesses worked and gave me an insight to the financial side of operations. As a soon-to-be business student at San Diego State, this was the perfect opportunity and the perfect first step on the way to that corner office in Ferrari I'd always dreamt of. But little did I know that I had much to learn. Customer service is more about having a smile on your face, being nice to people, and going above and beyond. Yes, it's all of these things, but it's also about communication. If a customer doesn't fully understand what's unfolding in front of them, then all the work is for nothing, as their experience as a customer is unenjoyable. I learned this hard way one night. A couple came in for dinner, ordered a sandwich and a panini. Made the husband the panini, brought it out and told the wife that since it was cooked, it'd take a couple minutes to cook. As I brought it over to the table, the wife asked where her sandwich was, and I said, it'll be ready in just a couple more minutes, and I'll bring it right out. Not 2 minutes later, she walked up to the counter and asked where her sandwich was. And I replied, ma'am, it's still cooking, and I'll bring it right out to you. So when that panini was cooked to perfection, I brought it over to him, and she was the happiest lady in the world. Little did I know, this lady called my boss the next day and complained about how rude I was and demanded that I be fired. It was at this point that when my boss called me into his office, that he told me that I need to take the time to make sure that that the customer understands what you're telling them. And I'm thankful I learned this lesson early on, as I would take it forward with me. My first real full-blown restaurant job was hosting at the Fish Market in downtown San Diego. This behemoth of a restaurant sits over 600 people and was miles away from the mom-and-pop deli I grew accustomed to. This massive, intimidating restaurant overlooking San Diego Bay was a place I spent the majority of my life for 4 years. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day monotony of work and not give it your all or be on all the time. But when you take a step back and think about each customer on an individual level and try to make their experience memorable, that's how you truly succeed in the restaurant industry. This is something I've taken with me and still continue to practice today, and I believe that has given me an edge in my early real estate career and is an important factor in my career advancement. After 9 months hard time hosting, I finally caught the eye of the busing manager and got the promotion I waited so long for. Bussers work long hours in comparison to most others in the restaurant, working 6 to 8 hours on weekends at a fast, non-stop pace, which for those of you who work in a restaurant know that's an eternity. I always thought I had a strong work ethic and knew what hard work was. I mean, I played sports growing up my whole life and was used to being worked hard practices. But that didn't prepare me for what I was going to experience on a daily basis. I'd have shifts where I'd be carrying bus subs 30, 40 pounds back and forth from the kitchen to the oyster bar, carrying buckets of ice, stacking patio furniture at the end of the night. I can still remember getting in my car one night on the way home, being so exhausted that I only had enough energy to stop at the taco shop, drive through on the way home, and get a burrito. But my time working in a restaurant was not all about developing skills I could take with me in my professional ambitions. It was about living with those around you. Restaurant life is something strangely beautiful. It's a collective mix of spirited, queer, and crazy people. And I mean crazy in the best sense of the word. These soulful characters in my life story are people that have come and gone, and some are people I'll never forget. As we share a bond that goes beyond being coworkers or friends. It's almost like being in a fraternity. It's sharing an experience with someone that's truly unlike anything I've ever experienced in a white-collar environment. I've met people from all walks of life, rich, poor, young, old. Most of whom I would have never met if I wasn't working in a restaurant. Not to say that you can't or won't meet interesting people in any job you work at, but it allowed me to realize that not everyone's lives are on the same course as mine. Not everyone was in the early 20s working part-time to work their way through school. Some of us were trying to figure out how to take the next step in our lives. Most of us were just working to live. Some of these people have turned into great friends, and others became distant memories to a life that seems like so long ago. I got out, but not everyone does. Not everyone wants to. It is only now that I can step back and truly appreciate how valuable those times were to my personal development. I learned so much about life working in restaurants, more than I could have ever gone by just getting the traditional college experience or living in a big city. These things I've taken with me have shaped my life and made me the I am today in front of you. That is massive.